What's the one thing that you think most entrepreneurs are missing that are hindering them from tremendous success?
Sales, obviously, so they all need you. Most of them don't. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm on the show. It really is. They don't know how to sell. That's one. And two is the follow up and follow through. I'll say that, 6 more times. You'd be surprised. I have run into so many people where I'm like, yep, send me your stuff and I'll hire you tomorrow. And they just never follow up. And you're like, oh my God.
Welcome to the Sold Out Sales Podcast, the podcast that will equip both the seasoned sales professional and the more reluctant seller with mindset shifts and strategies needed to succeed in a competitive marketplace. Welcome back to the Sold Out Sales Podcast. I'm always so delighted that you come back and join us week after week. Thank you so much. I have with us today someone who I've known for a long time, and this is the first time we get to have her on the podcast. I'm so excited for you all to meet Kelly Lorenzen. Kelly, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and tell us one thing that we're not going to read about you on your bio or on your website.
Thank you. Kelly Lorenzen. I own KLM Consulting, Marketing, and Management. I'm a mother, a philanthropist, a fire wife. So a few things you won't read about me on my bio. I love exotic cars. I'm a car fanatic.
Wow. Now, I didn't even know that about you. So did I hear you say you're a fire wife?
Yes.
Does that mean your husband is a firefighter?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, just making sure. I didn't even know that. After all these years, I did not even know that. That's interesting. Very cool. Well, Kelly, tell us a little bit about what your business does.
Sure. We are a full service business development firm. We serve small and family owned service based businesses. We're their duplicate. Every business owner at some point in their journey decides that they cannot do this alone. So we become their duplicate. They outsource things like projects, hiring, operations, marketing, those types of things to us. And we do them as they would do them with a consulting hat on to make sure we're doing them a service by growing and scaling their business, how they see, how they want to grow, not just because we should just throw something on the wall and see if it sticks.
I love it. Wow. How did you get involved in this type of work?
We've owned businesses for the last 20 something years, family owned medical practices and electrical businesses and DME companies and real estate companies. And what we couldn't find, there wasn't another company that existed that thought like a business owner who could actually be the implementer. So most entrepreneurs are visionaries, but there's nobody to implement on, the ideas that they have. So I just created what I couldn't find. So we've combined the consulting with the marketing and project management all in one company to serve small businesses the way I wished I had back in those days, an outsourced project manager or CMO. I created something out of need that I had, and it's been fun ever since.
Wonderful. So I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard you have a book coming out. So
I do.
Tell it, would you share? Can we be your the place where you announce it? I'm sure you've announced it other places as well, but I'd love to hear about your book and what it's about and when is it coming out?
Thank you. Yeah, actually, no, I have not talked about it too much. We signed on with a publisher a few weeks ago, so it's coming out in November. I'm pushing them a little because I have already scheduled the party, the book launch party.
That's fantastic.
It's classic what I would do. But it's an entrepreneurship 101 book for new entrepreneurs. In the last 9 years of owning this business, I've heard so many horror stories of people taking advantage of people and people wasting so much money that I'm hopeful that this book will help people not waste so much time and energy and money and get the right information up front before they, spend a lot of money. So I have a big goal of reaching 100,000 new businesses with this book, so that nobody has to struggle like we struggled in our businesses and waste, too much money. So it's a guide. It's 12 chapters. It has workshops, workouts at the end of each chapter to implement, and it's start growing and scaling your business.
I love that. I can't wait to read it. That's going to be amazing. So it won't be available until November. So maybe if you have a place for us to be able to know where we're going to be able to get it, we can drop it in the show notes in the future, even so that way people can actually get it from you as quickly as possible.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I understand, and you tell me if it's different, but most of us, when we're business owners, we still do a lot of our own sales, or at the very least have some sales conversations. Tell me a little bit about what would you say is your biggest sales like strategy? What's the one thing that kind of helps you to connect with people when you're having sales conversations?
I think follow up and follow through is a big deal for sales, and you teach it. It's not just about the initial conversation. It's not about the what they see before the conversation. I say your website is your storefront, so making sure everything is dialed in online, and you are who you say you are. And then after the sales conversation, the follow up and follow through has always helped us the most.
Yeah, I completely agree. Follow up is like my middle name. I completely believe in it and fully understand that people don't fall in love with you at the beginning as much as they do when they see the consistency, right? Because it's like you meet someone in first, for the first time, you don't really know who they are. But when they do what they say they're going to do, it makes all the difference in the world, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So tell me about what would you say has been your biggest sales success, and what would you say has been your biggest sales flop? Meaning a time when you had like, oh my God, you almost didn't even have to have a sales conversation and they were so interested. But then what's a time where you kind of wish you can go back and do that one again?
Most of our business comes from referral, and I've built that. Every business we've owned has been networking or referral. So a lot of the conversations, are had getting to know people and putting yourselves in the right room. So
Hmm.
by the time they get to the sales conversation, it's less about sales and more about how can we serve and how can we be of service and help, and is it the right time. So it's, a long time ago, obviously, I was selling other things. I wasn't selling myself. So it was way easier
Yeah. I can.
to, when you sell your family, or you sell the houses, or you sell a actual product, that's way easier than selling yourself. So I think, early on in this business, a big flop was not stating all the experience, and not quote unquote bragging about yourself,
Yeah.
about all the knowledge that you have.
Why do we do that? I mean, you're absolutely right. It's like we will talk so much about someone else, but when it comes to us frequently, we're just like baseline, just the facts, just what they need to know in that moment instead of really using all of the experience and the expertise that we bring to the table. Why do we do that? I don't even understand.
I don't either. I think it's how we grew up.
Yeah. I don't remember, Kelly, you tell me if you do. I don't remember which networking event we met at, but I know we met at a networking event many years ago. So I know building relationships is important to you, but what would you say is the thing that works almost instantly for you to connect with people and build long-term relationships? What's something that you would really like say, if you had to do something when you're networking, when you're meeting people for the first time, do this one thing?
Authenticity
Yeah.
by far.
Yeah.
I have built relationships so fast and so deep because I am an open book. You can ask me anything about any struggle I've ever had. And I'm an open book, and I'm very real, raw, authentic. And I think people connect with that on such a deeper level, because maybe not everybody's like that. And energetically, I think, connecting with people, that you like, you have similar vibes. I don't know how else to describe it, but that seems to be helpful when you're out and about.
I love that. And because of what you do, I'm going to ask you a question about tools, like tools that really help both yourself and your clients. So I stand by my CRM. I love it. I teach people how to utilize it in a way that most people don't use their CRMs. They normally use it just for the base model. They don't really use it the way that they should for closing sales. What different tools or tactics are you using that are making a big difference for you or for your clients?
CRM for sure. We've tried a lot of them. Currently, our favorite is High Level.
Yeah.
That's our favorite at the moment, because it combines. We don't have to use Calendly or Constant Contact anymore. We don't have to use DocuSign. So a lot of it's in one system, and that has been a game changer. We do CRM project implementation for people, and they love it too, because they're having so many less tools. And I think that's the thing with small businesses, is that we don't have enough time. And then we're trying to manage and learn all these different tools. And so the least amount of tools that you can condense into, maybe one or two, that'll help grow your business just by that.
I completely agree. And I'm a High Level fan also, so I can get behind you on that. Have you ever gone to a networking event or a conference and found that although you made great connections and you walked away with a stack full of business cards, you still didn't have a real plan for how to get a good return on your investment of both time and money? Well, let me tell you, having a networking and sales planner is a way for you to be more intentional about the way that you network.
Hey, I'm Susan Gladstein. I'm a functional nutrition and metabolism specialist, and I got connected with Tish because she is a rock star at systems and sales. And so I downloaded the planner to help get my brain organized as I went through a rebrand and launched a new course. And it's really helped me sort of get things out of my head and onto paper so that I can actually do follow-ups and not just rely on my brain. So far it's rocking my world and making my business systems that were non-existent actually have some sort of structure. So I love it. It's amazing. And I'm so grateful that our paths have crossed.
I've been working with sales professionals for almost 15 years. And one of the things that I find is that when they don't have a plan, they do nothing. They sit at their desk and wonder what to do. Well, with this networking and sales planner, you have profit producing activities for every single day of the week. It tells you where to go, what to say, even gives you prompts as to how to interact with people that you don't know. If you're an introvert and you feel like this isn't for you, I have already thought of you because I understand exactly how introverts think. So this gives you the tools enabling you to be armed with words, with language, so that you can make your networking more profitable.
Hey everyone, Rachel Neighbors here from solo401k.com. And I wanted to take a moment to talk about how awesome this sales networking planner is that Tish put out. So as you can see, I have it on my Remarkable. That's my sort of e-ink planner. And this sales planner has been so helpful for me. So I'm an old school pay-per-click marketer. I do Google ads, Facebook ads, and I know how to turn advertising into profit. But I didn't know how to turn network sales into profit. And when I met Tish, this woman literally wrote the book on networking called, Networking is Not a One-Night Stand. And she's put that experience and that energy and those valuable tips into this networking sales planner. And I just think that it can be so powerful for you in your business. I know it's been really helpful for me and mine. One thing that Tish told me is, Rachel, when you meet someone, put them into your plan planner and then follow up with them like they're a lead that you've generated on Google Ads or that you followed up with or that you've generated on Facebook. And that has been so helpful and transformative in my business. So thank you, Tish, for this awesome planner.
Maybe you don't even like networking. You say things like, networking doesn't work. Well, let me tell you, when you have a plan in place, you have some intention, and you have the tools to be able to make it work, you will see a different result. My new networking and sales planner is a game changer. It's the difference between you going to an event, wandering around and walking away without any purpose and without any new money, and walking into an event with a plan, with a purpose, and being able to convert new clients into your business. No one wants to feel inauthentic and pushy or even salesy when following up. So frequently we just don't do it at all. Well, the profitable follow-up formula, which is in the back of your networking and sales planner, will give you the tools and the language and the frequency with which you should be following up so that it feels very authentic. It feels genuine and natural both to you and to the people that you're reaching out to. Go to tishtimes.com/planner to get your digital or physical version of your planner.
Hi, my name is Cheryl James from KLM Consulting, and I just want to tell you a little bit about how awesome this networking sales planner is. I started intentionally networking at the beginning of this year, and I have been using my planner on a regular basis, not only to get inspiration, but to track the people I want to meet and the people I have met, and to make sure that I follow up with them from week to week. So if you are looking to network intentionally and hold yourself accountable, this planner is a must-have.
And once you get your planner, you'll also receive a video series that's going to teach you how to maximize your networking and how to use this planner to get the best result and best return on your investment of both time and money. If you are ready to stop wasting time with networking and turn your networking into a sales machine, then go to tishtimes.com/planner and grab your networking and sales planner. So in business, and you've been in business for a while, you've had multiple businesses, and there's a huge roller coaster we find ourselves in with those highs and lows. How do you deal with whether it's rejection or just, difficult times? What's the thing that really kind of keeps you focused and keeps you fired up?
The why, for sure, is I tell clients always go back. If you're having a hard time, go back to your why. Why did you start the business? Why are you doing what you're doing? What's the purpose? What's the actual underlying purpose or your why? And mine is to make sure small businesses have a fighting chance at success. I come from a very my grandparents were entrepreneurs, my parents were entrepreneurs. So I'm hopeful that my kids will get to be entrepreneurs and their kids. And so I have this very deep need to make sure small businesses are even an option for them. So if I have something to do with it, which is partly why I wrote the book, I wasn't never going to write the book.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, it's fulfilling that purpose. Okay. I got to put my knowledge out there and experience over the last 20 something years of owning businesses. Put it all out there and hope that, small businesses still are in existence a little bit partly because of, the knowledge that I shared.
I love that so much. Because of what you do and because you have such a passion for small businesses and helping them to succeed, if you could bottle up one thing that can help them be more successful, if you could just go and sprinkle it on the people that you meet and that you get a chance to serve, what's the one thing that you think most entrepreneurs are missing that are hindering them from tremendous success?
Sales, obviously, so they all need you. Most of them don't. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm on the show. It really is. They don't know how to sell. That's one. And two is the follow up and follow through. I'll say that 6 more times. You'd be surprised. I have run into so many people where I'm like, yep, send me your stuff and I'll hire you tomorrow. And they just never follow up. Right. And you're like, oh my gosh, there's like a warm, hot lead. Here you go. It's on your plate. And they don't do anything about it. So it's those things and networking, being involved in your community, I say pick 3 things. So a networking group, a nonprofit to support, and an organization to be a part of that, is similar to what you're looking for. If you have that 3 combination and you're in a service-based business, small business, you'll never not have leads.
That's I love that. Such a great way of just describing that. So thank you for that. Kelly, who would you say is your dream client? Who are the people that you're most uniquely qualified to serve?
about 70% of our clientele is health, wellness, medical. We have that background from owning our medical practice and our DME company. So they understand. I know what it's like on the medical side, on the ownership side. So that is definitely at the top of our list. And then the other 30% is professional services, other marketing agencies, other consultants, because they know I know what I'm doing. Yeah. So they trust me. So those are our favorite. And people that are willing to outsource. I say do what you love and outsource everything else. And in fact, that's the name of the book. So there you go.
I love it.
People that are willing to delegate and know that they need to in order to grow are my favorite.
Oh, wow. Very, very good. Who do you believe you've had to become? I know that you've always had an entrepreneurial heart. You've been doing this for a long time, but who have you had to become, Kelly, to have the level of success that you currently enjoy and the amount of people that you're able to serve? What has changed about you? What has changed about you at your core? Who have you had to become?
Way more willing to delegate and to surround myself with people that are smarter than me. In fact, somebody who both of us know, I got that line from her, is surrounding ourselves with people smarter than us. So I've had to become a very good delegator. There's 6 of us on the team, so I keep duplicating myself so we can duplicate owners.
Oh my God, I love that. And what was it about doing that you had to realize? Because many of us as owners, and in your world, you probably know it better than anyone else, we have a hard time delegating. And it's difficult to let go of the things that we hold dear, the things that we think we're really good at. We're afraid they won't get done well if we don't do it. So what had to shift about you to be able to do that?
I realized in 2020 when we grew by 200% because I hired my first employee that there was a given that you're always going to make up the money that you outsource to. You will always make up the money if you delegate well and hire people that are smarter than you, for sure.
Oh my God, that piece right there, I'm going to put that on repeat for my clients because we were just having this conversation just the other day, and many of them, the great thing about being better in sales is that you get busier, right? You have more things going on, and they're at a place where in order to be able to grow, they have to hire, and many of them are really pushing against it because it just feels like, I don't know if I can afford to, I don't know if I'm ready, all those things. So you just actually helped quite a few people with that statement right there, just by understanding that we can double. Same with me. I grew my company 300% when I hired my first team member. So I completely agree with that. It's just not easy. It's really difficult for most owners to be able to do.
And I think even, thinking of it as an insurance policy of having a team members, internal or outsource it, right? I mean, there's companies like yours and mine and a lot of us that can do the work at a fraction of the cost of having an internal employee. And in thinking of it as an insurance policy, I'll tell you, so that was the first time is when I hired my first team member. And then so then I kept building up my team and I'm like, I'm not sure why I'm hiring all these people ahead of needing them. And luckily I did, because when I got breast cancer and had to take 2 weeks off and 50 million doctor's appointments, I had a team in place that was ready to go. I didn't miss a beat. We didn't skip anything. We didn't have to close. In fact, we grew by 25% that year also because I had a team in place.
Wow. So, Kelly, thank you for number one sharing that, because I remember we talked about it. We were both in Nashville together. I mean, not Nashville, North Carolina, not long ago. And, it was the first time I really had a chance to hear you talk about that story. To the best of your ability, with as much as you're willing to share, how did that change you coming through such a difficult diagnosis and having to push through all of the things that you had to go through in order to get past and beat cancer? How did that change you?
Luckily, I was exactly where I needed to be. I think I got it on purpose to be an advocate for women to take care of themselves. So I feel like I got it on purpose. And most women who go through that, they realize like, oh my gosh, what am I doing with my life? And they blow up their life and they change all these things because they are, not doing what they're meant to be doing in their purpose. And I actually was exactly where I needed to be. It was such a good feeling to go through that and have the family support, the friend support, the team support, and know that in reflection that I was exactly doing what I'm supposed to be doing in life. Was a really cool feeling.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm, again, so glad that to be able to hear the story on the other side and know that you're doing well now and helping so many other people get through it as well. How do you believe your unique personality and who you are as a person impacts the way that you do business?
I have had a lot of personal and professional development over the last 20 something years. When you've been a business owner that long, we get to, luckily, you and I get to go to a lot of cool conferences, a lot of we put ourselves in rooms, right, to gain more professional knowledge. So I think personal and professional development has helped me become the human I am, authentically and living exactly in the purpose I'm supposed to be doing, helping people, and I'm very protective of my clients. Once they're clients, they're like gatekeeper of like, nobody's going to take advantage of you anymore.
Yes.
So I'm real protective of people, to make sure that, again, they don't get taken advantage of, they don't waste a ton of money, time, and effort, so they can tell that I'm, authentically me and helpful and guided by intuition and experience.
I love that so much. Kelly, tell us, how do you want people to be able to reach out to you? First of all, before you answer that question, the person who needs you the most, what are they Googling right now? What are they saying to themselves? They need you. They don't know that they need you, or they don't know who you are yet. What are they probably Googling?
They're overwhelmed. They are panicked. They are busy. They're, starting to get way more business in the door, but they don't have the systems, the processes, the team in place. And so they're like business ownership 101. How do I delegate? Who do I hire? They're stuck in the, I don't know the next 5 steps in order to not drown. So I'm not sure the words they're Googling, but when I hear those words like I'm overwhelmed, I'm frantic, I'm busy, too busy, have too much business, not enough operations, not enough systems, no team, that's exactly who, we help the best.
Wonderful. And how do those people reach you?
Our website's duplicatemyselfklm.com, or for short, duplicatemyself.com. We can become your duplicate within a week is the other thing. We are very quick turnaround to onboard, and so they're not having to wait 30, 60, 90 days for a new team member. We're pretty instantaneous.
Wonderful. Kelly, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Look forward to seeing you in the future. I'm sure I'll see you shortly, but thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. So, Sold Out Sales audience, I hope that you heard something you can put into practice right away. I hope you'll listen to this and know that if you're overwhelmed, if you're realizing that there's too much on your plate and you don't know what those next steps are, you need to reach out to Kelly, and she can definitely help you. And I'm sure that even if you're not the ideal client for her, she'll point you in the right direction. So we'll see you back here next week. Thanks for listening to the Sold Out Sales Podcast. I would be so appreciative if you would show me and my amazing guests some love by leaving a review on your favorite podcasting platform. Also, go over to tishtimes.com/resource page and make sure you pick up your sales and networking handbook, especially for introverts. Also, I'd love to continue this conversation, so make sure you connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I'll see you back here next week.